Impact segment tonight, Georgetown University, a Catholic school run by Jesuits, and recently it has become the center for secular controversy. Sandra Fluck and the whole birth control brouhaha came out of Georgetown. Now some students there have invited Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius to talk at their diploma ceremony. Ms. Sebelius, an ardent pro-abortion person, even sticking up for the notorious Dr. Tiller, the late-term abortionist in Kansas who was assassinated. With us now, Jonathan Merritt, author of the new book, A Faith of Our Own, which explores how Christianity is attempting to influence American culture and politics, and Fox News religious analyst Father Jonathan Morris, the author of the book, God Wants You to Be Happy. So, Sebelius, you know her, right? And what do you think of her at Georgetown?
Well, in the introduction, you mentioned that students invited her to come, which is true. But students don't run a university. In this case, it's the Jesuits and the board of the university that runs the university. What they are doing by inviting the architect and the person who is implementing the HHS mandate requiring religious institutions to provide abortifacients and contraception, what they're doing is taking their finger and sticking it in the eyes of the bishops.
Just like we talked about in the previous segment about the judge and the Ten Commandments. All right, so you say that the hierarchy who runs Georgetown should have said, sorry, all right, this is inappropriate. But you got to remember that Georgetown was the place where this whole thing started with the contraception and the Obama administration.
You know what? It would be perfectly fine if they invited her to come to a debate and to put somebody else up there to debate her. That's what universities are for. No problem. But when you honor her at a graduation ceremony by allowing her to speak, everybody knows that's an honor. What you're saying is, this is the type of person we are in favor of. All right. That's sticking a finger in the eyes of the bishops and of Catholic doctrine.
Mr. Merritt, you say?
Well, actually, I'm a pro-life guy, so personally I disagree with her. But the thing that frustrates me, I think, about this particular situation is we're now living in a culture where everybody has a right to everything. And people, I think, today think they have a right not to be offended, not to have to listen to somebody they disagree with. So she's pro-choice. We get that. I disagree with
pro-choice, though.
Yeah,
it's beyond that.
But I think my ideas and my arguments are better than hers. So let's allow her to speak hers and me to speak mine.
But you're not allowed to speak with her. See, the point, and I agree with Father Morris on this, is that you're basically Georgetown University now is basically saying she's okay. All right, we like her. And, you know, it's against everything the Catholic religion stands for. I'm not so hopped up about the birth control. I know you are, okay?
No, to me, not that. It's
it's the imposition. I understand. But the late-term abortion that this Kathleen Sebelius, as governor of Kansas, sanctioned, there's no way that she should, and I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to be judgmental at that level. But to support a doctor in Kansas, one of only maybe 3 in the country, who were killing babies up until a minute before they were birthed for no reason at all, okay, to actively support that, disqualifies her, in my opinion, from getting anywhere near a Catholic facility.
Well, Bill, it comes down to who do you want to be? Do you want to be a Catholic university?
Well, they obviously don't.
Or not.
Georgetown obviously does not want to be a Catholic university. I think that is quite apparent.
I hope that the superiors of the order step in and say, that's out of line.
They won't. And the Vatican won't say anything either.
It doesn't have to get to the Vatican. It should be a much more local level.
What do you mean it doesn't have to get to the... Wait. What do you mean it doesn't have to get to the Vatican? This is one of the biggest Catholic universities in the world.
The Catholic Church isn't into big government. They're into allowing the local people to take authority. And when they don't, yes, the Vatican, when it comes down to doctrine,
is there leadership in Rome or not?
There's got to be an allowance for the local people to step in. Yeah. Let's hope they do.
All right, they're not gonna. All right, now, Mr. Merritt, look, you got to understand here, all right, that there is a difference between a freedom of speech forum that Father Morris offers, him up against Sebelius, and Sebelius basically bloviating her extreme views as far as the Catholic Church is concerned to a Catholic audience.
Yeah, well, let's be clear, first of all, her support of Dr. Tiller is absolutely reprehensible. And I think conservatives and many liberals would agree with you on that. But there's also, I think, a double standard at work here. See, when conservatives find out about a creationist being being fired from a local university, they say they cry foul. When you have Governor Casey in 1992, who's pro-life, being told he can't come and he can't be a part of the Democratic National Convention, they scream and holler and shout, and they say, well, give him a chance to speak and let him talk. And so I think there's a double standard here at work.
But the difference is the two things you mentioned are both secular, all right? And if this was a secular institution, I don't care whether Catherine Sebelius talks or not.
And have
it doesn't matter to me.
Well, but I'll give you something that frustrates me too.
Real quick.
Nobody is mentioning anything about the fact that Governor Romney is speaking at Liberty University's commencement, and he disagrees theologically. He varies very much theologically from what we would call Christian or even Catholic or Protestant orthodoxy.
The moral equivalency there is absolutely
that's basically a theological thing. He's not an evangelical.
And I care more about my theology than my politics.
All right, gentlemen, very interesting debate. We appreciate it. Plenty more ahead as the Factor moves along this evening.